Hi, I'm Jim, and this is Call to Battle. Glad you could join us again. Actually, if you could hit the like button or subscribe, that would help me a lot. There's this thing called out there called the trad wife movement. Yeah, I don't know if you heard about that. Trad wife means traditional wife movement. They're calling this a movement. I find it fascinating. Basically, it's women who are going back to traditional way of doing family. It's a woman who says, I'll stay home, I'll cook, I'll clean, I'll raise the kids, and the father goes off to work. And it seems like some of the media is really upset about this, that, oh, they're setting women back so many years. They're calling these women that they're, buying into sexism. The phrase I'm really enjoying is they're saying it's a white supremacist movement. And it makes me laugh because I said, okay, you're telling me Africans, Asians, Hispanics, they're not into this. It's only white people who are into a traditional wife role? I don't think so. But it's amazing how this must terrify them because they're calling it all these terrible words. You have to be a conservative to do this. And I'm like, how do people just like to have families the way they've been for millennium? I guess that's just too much to ask. I mean, the misunderstanding of it all is, of course, I find comical that they said, well, they do this terrible thing of submit to their husbands, thinking that, husbands who do this are basically domineering their wives and bossing them around. It's just ridiculous. But of course, no, it happens. Yeah, there's bad husbands, sure. There's bad wives, there's bad everything. But people always like to concentrate on like these small percentages, the things that hardly ever happen or rarely happens, and ignore the great things that are happening. Traditional marriage has worked for millenniums, but yet we got to try to bash it. We got to try to destroy it. Once again, why do we have to destroy it? Because what does it do? Tells us God's way is better. When we do things God's way, it works better. Matter of fact, I saw this, I've talked about a statistic that said women who've had 5 partners or more, if they get married, after marriage, if they've had 5 partners or more, they are like only 25% likely to have a happy marriage. That's right. And if they have less than 5 partners, they have an 80% chance. Once again, going God's way of waiting for marriage, one partner, and it works best. Now, you may not like that. You may insult that, which is fine. But it's true. It's the best way to do marriage. Traditional marriage works best. Of course, that was God's design. He's the one who created marriage. And it works wonderfully. And women are wanting to go back to this, and people are uproared over it. Oh, how archaic that is. And I guess it's pretty archaic to want to have a happy marriage, a fulfilled marriage. Yeah, that's pretty archaic, I guess. But they like to twist words and they twist sayings where they say, one woman who's very popular on this, who's made popular on TikTok says, I submit to my husband. And they're like, oh, submit. She must be domineered by him. It's like, no, you don't understand the word submission. You're thinking, you're not allowed to do anything or think. That's ridiculous. Scripturally, as we talked about it, the man is told to love his wife like Christ loved the church and gave his life up for her. That's how a man is supposed to love his wife. A man who loves his wife like that is not going to treat her poorly. He's going to raise her up. He's going to make sure she becomes what God desires her to be and become all that he wants. He's going to be there for her. And people think, oh, submission somehow is this awful thing, where submission can be a wonderful thing. If your husband is for you, it's a beautiful thing. But no, we can't concentrate on that. This TikToker person also said that my husband has the final say on money. And so they're like, so you don't get to decide on money. It's like, it's ridiculous. She buys the groceries, she buys the clothes. Matter of fact, women in general make over 70% of all purchases are done by women. And yes, the woman does it. She's making purchases in her house. It's not like the husband saying you can't make purchases. But if there's a final say on it, he's got it. And some think it's a terrible thing. But then again, they don't fully understand it once again. I mean, I use my wife and I. We bought a house, one of the houses we bought. We checked it out. I got the inspector, all that. But after we bought it, we found a number of issues with the house. Actually, it was very frustrating. But in my house, I'm the head of my house, and I have the final say. So I had the final say in the house. My wife, we talked about it. We discussed it. We agreed it's the house we wanted. But when all these issues came up, it's on me. It's not on my wife. It's on me. Since I have final say, I have responsibility. That means I had to fix the issues. I had to figure out how to resolve the issues. Not her, me, because the final say was me. Even though we agreed on it, I have to take responsibility for it. So I had to work actually like crazy to fix the issues of the house. I mean, I was upset over the issues. I even apologized to my wife. I'm like, I'm sorry. I should have caught this. I know I should have caught this. And I was very upset I didn't. But when you have final say, you have all responsibility. And people never think of that aspect. And of course, my wife, wonderful woman, I love her dearly. No, she's not like, oh, look at you. You screwed up. You did awful. I mean, she's like, honey, it's okay. No, it'll get resolved. Don't worry about it. But I hated the fact I made a bad decision in things I should have caught. Some things there's no way I could have caught. There's a couple of things I should have caught. I should have picked a better house inspector, the whole thing. But this submission thing, people don't get. I mean, one of the greatest compliments my wife has given me is she'll go around telling people, my husband is my greatest cheerleader. I mean, I desire for my wife to succeed, for my wife to do well. I want that for her. I know the gifts and abilities God has given her, and I want her to reach her highest potential. And I am there just to cheer her on for that what she desires to do, just like she's there for me. But I guess people don't want that. I guess that's too archaic, too crazy. But hey, it's amazing how this world wants to fight against the things that work. I get a kick out of it. And they don't want to agree to this or follow it because it comes from God. And somehow God's this terrible thing. God can't possibly be right. Even though time and time and time and time again, we see when things are done his way, it is so much better. Well, you're just talking to a guy. I mean, what do I know? I've only been married 36 years. To the only woman I've ever known. And we got married I was 22 and she was 20. What could we possibly know? And all I know is our marriage gets better every year. I can't imagine life without her. But I guess I'll take the archaic way because you know what? I love my marriage and I think it's absolutely wonderful. And yep, we've done it God's way, not our way. And so it keeps growing. Well, I hope you're having a good week. And I hope you're going at realizing the joy of the traditional wife or the trad wife or the trad family. Yeah. If relationships haven't been working, you can't seem to hold on to strong relationships. You know what? You may want to look at how God does it. It's pretty great. Talk to you later. God bless. Have a good week.